So I'm going to let you guys try some elk. Timber Butte Elk Ranch is a vendor here at the market that's new to the Eagle Saturday Market this year. So they were nice enough to let me use some products so you guys can taste it. So I have a hunk of elk shoulder that I cut into cubes, and then I simmered it earlier this morning in some beef stock and some salsa and some of these spice blends from Starlight Herbs right here. Okay, so again, this is chunks of elk. I took a piece of their shoulder off the chuck, cut it into cubes. What did I simmer it in? Beef stock and salsa. Okay, that was my liquid. That was my braising liquid. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it here warm for you while I wag my jaw for a few minutes before I give you a sample. So you guys like the Saturday market?
Yes.
Yeah, what do you like about it? Why do you come down? Carolyn, what do you like about the Saturday market?
Everything.
Oh, everything. All right, very good. So here's my braising liquid. Again, the elk shoulder, right, from the chuck, primal cut, was cubed and simmered in the beef stock and the salsa, and I used Starlight Herbs, Western Rib Rub, and their barbecue spice. Okay? So there's the elk. Now I'm going to make a sauce. I'm going to make a brown sauce with this liquid. I'm going to just simply thicken it with a roux and let you guys taste this in a few minutes. Okay, you're paying attention, right?
Paying attention, but I had to get your DVDs first, you know.
She wanted to get them before they were all bought out.
I did.
Before they were all sold.
That's
Okay.
exactly right.
If I run out, I make more.
So you guys are getting all the answers to the questions, and you guys get to taste it first, okay? Because those who just walk up at the end and go, "What'd you do?" I'm just going to tell them they need to buy the DVD next week.
I came for
Okay? You did. You did. Okay, so the wasps are attracted to the meat, right? Yeah.
Hopefully they're not attracted to you.
I just ignore them. So anyways, so I'm going to make a roux, R-O-U-X. How many of you know what that is? It's a paste made of butter and flour used to thicken liquid. Okay? In this case, here's my flour, here's my butter. Use equal parts of each. I have about a tablespoon and a half of each. Okay? And to make the roux, you simply cook, while stirring, cook the butter and flour mixture over heat for about a minute or so. The flour will no longer be raw. It'll smell toasted and nutty. Okay? So again, roux, R-O-U-X, is a paste of butter and flour used to thicken liquids. Now, if you thicken a white stock with a roux, you would have a velouté, or a white sauce. If you thicken milk with a roux, you would have a bechamel, or a cream sauce. If you melt cheese into that, you would then have a mornay, a cheese sauce, okay? So here we go. Our roux is toasted, right? I'm gonna put a little more flour in there. Actually, I want my roux a little thicker. So again, a roux is a mixture of what two things?
Butter and flour.
Butter and flour, and it's used to do what?
Thicken.
It's used to thicken liquid. In this case, I'm going to thicken the braising liquid right here. This is what I braised. This is what I braised the elk in. Okay? Okay? So all I'm doing is thickening some beef stock, and this is the salsa and beef stock that I braised, in which I braised the elk. Okay? So I'm thickening this so it's a nice sauce and not so thin and runny. That's it. Now you need to bring the sauce to a boil, which it is already, to maximize the thickening power of the roux.
It's like chocolate.
Okay?
Put some mole sauce.
Okay, so here's our sauce. I want a little more liquid or it's going to be a little stiff. Okay, so I'm actually going to add some of this liquid from some of my potato cooking water. Okay? So I'm loosening the sauce up a little bit with that liquid. Cool? Now, and yes, you're going to try all this, right?
Yes.
Who wants to try it? Only 3 of you? I'll ask the question again. Who wants to try it? 4 now, okay.
You can't watch a cooking demonstration without getting the taste done.
That's right. Okay, so I brought it to a boil. Do I need to boil something if I'm going to thicken with the roux?
Yes.
Yes, that way I maximize the thickening power of the roux. Okay? So tell me why you come to the market. What do you grab when you're here?
Veggies.
Yeah?
Butter spread.
I'm going to add a little more of my liquid here.
I came to watch this.
And you came to watch a cooking demo. You are so good.
He
You're
knows
so
that's
good.
what I come for.
Comedy hour. No. Just kidding. Okay, so here's my brown sauce, okay?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
So I took beef stock, and there were some aromatics in there, right? I took my beef stock, I thickened it with what?
Butter and flour.
Which is a roux, okay? Butter and flour used to thicken the sauce, okay? So I'm gonna give it a taste and season. I'm pretty sure it's all right, that it's seasoned okay because it was used to cook this, okay? I had already seasoned it with Starlight Herbs Western Rib Rub and their barbecue rub. So here's our brown sauce. Now, if I was gonna charge you for a plate in which I use this sauce, I would actually strain it, okay? So it looks pristine, okay? But in this case, unless you want me to put a tip jar out that's really big, then I'm not gonna strain it.
Don't strain it.
What do you think, Carolyn? Should I put a tip jar out there?
I don't think that
She reserves comment. All right, guys. So I'm gonna let you try this in a minute, okay? Objections? Didn't think so. So I want it to cool briefly before I taste it so I can get a more accurate indicator instead of trying to choke down a really hot taste. Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit of salt. Also, Starlight Herbs has some of my favorite salts in the world. And one is a gray salt right here. It's still slightly moist. And you want to look fancy for your friends, what do? You just hold your hand up higher. Okay? You know that's worth the price of admission alone. Right. Okay. So just a little bit of salt. I might hit it with a little pepper also. So I have some white pepper, but it could very well be black peppercorn, okay? Or you could use Starlight Herbs, their herb pepper blend. It's really good. And the blends from Florence, actually, Florence and Starlight Herbs, they're not loaded up with salt like the stuff you get from the grocery store. You actually get more bang for your buck with the spices and stuff. Use it in conjunction with your own salt. So the ones at the store, look at the ingredients. The salt is the first ingredient, okay? And that's relatively inexpensive, okay? So you're paying for their salt when you could be using your own. So yeah, she does a great job with her blends. And this weekend, if you have any barbecuing planned, right here, these two are excellent. So those are the two that I use to cook the elk. I'm gonna let you try in a minute.
And you rub them and let them sit for a while?
All I did when I did the elk, all I did was I cut the shoulder into cubes. Okay, again, Timber Butte Elk Ranch is about 30 steps that way, okay? A local farm up at Horseshoe Bend, okay? So I took the elk, I cut it into cubes. I put it in this very dish. I put about a half a cup of beef stock and about half a cup of salsa. Now, what's salsa made of? Salsa is made of tomato and pepper and onions, okay? So I have a little bit of acidity from the tomatoes. I have aromatics from the onions and pepper, and maybe there was some garlic in there. So that was my braising liquid. And then I just sprinkled some of these over the top, shoved it in the oven for a while, okay? Came on site here, and you saw what I did. I took the meat out of the liquid. We then thickened that liquid. So it's going to be used as a sauce, okay? Now, had you had maybe chunks of potato in here, maybe that liquid already would be thick. Okay, as the potato breaks down and that starch lends itself to that liquid, it will give it more body. But in this case, my liquid was pretty loose and fluid. You saw that, right? All I had in there was the meat. So I took it out, thickened it with a roux, right? You saw the butter and flour. Cook for a minute, add liquid, bring to a boil, it stiffens it, right? So everyone's savvy, right? Okay? Now I'm gonna serve this to you with the taste of some potatoes. I got some potatoes, these are Yukons from Conrad's over there in the corner, out there in the parking lot. Conrad's Produce has a wonderful array, beautiful stuff. And I just cooked some Yukons. I'm gonna heat those back up before I serve it to you, okay? So we have elk, a sauce made from the braising liquid, and some potatoes. You guys with me? Nice, any questions? Come on.
You answered them all. The tomato in the salsa helps tenderize the meat?
The acidity actually, well, yeah, sure, it can lend some, see, when you braise something, the technique itself is really useful for cuts that may be more tough. Okay, so a cut that is from a muscle that gets more work, you wouldn't necessarily want to throw on the grill or use a dry cooking method. You'd actually want to you would want to braise it. You'd want to use this technique because not only some acidity from the tomato does, that helps some too, and it lends wonderfully to the flavor of the dish, But braising, low and slow covered for an extended period of time, is really what softens and tenderizes a naturally tougher cut of meat. So cool? So we're looking for flavor, we're looking for what the acidity can do overall to the dish. Sure, it can contribute to tenderizing it, but the braising, remember 3 threes when it comes to braising. You won't read this in a cookbook, okay? But when it comes time to braise, again, you're going to choose a cut that is a more economical cut of meat. Okay, you're going to braise something like chuck or shoulder or pork butt, things like that that are costing you less than a steak, like a tenderloin, ribeye, filet mignon, stuff like that, okay? So again, the economy cuts, the less expensive per pound cut, braise. And remember 3 threes. I want you to remember liquid coming a third of the way up the meat, not the pan, the meat. You want 300 degrees for at least 3 hours, okay? You cannot hurry a braise. You can't go 400 degrees for 2 hours, okay? So again, a braise is low and slow for an extended period of time. I usually use ceramic cookware. I cover it, I put it in the oven, I take a nap, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, whatever, okay? Now, you can braise on a stovetop, but I'm less inclined to leave something on the stovetop unattended. So braising, again, low and slow. Remember those 3 threes. Liquid coming a third of the way up the meat, at least 3 hours. What temperature? 300, right? Savage. So you're going to braise. Are you going to braise expensive cuts, like nice cuts of steak? No. What are you going to braise?
Tender cuts.
Economy cuts. A tougher, a muscle that gets more work, okay? Okay, so again, I have some elk shoulder that I cut into cubes, braised in beef stock and salsa, right? Plus a little bit of starlight herbs. And then I took the meat off, and again, I'm going to let you guys taste this. Don't go far. I'll let you taste. So I took the meat out of the liquid, and I thickened the liquid with what? Roux, butter and flour, right? Cook together, pour in the liquid, bring it to a boil to maximize the thickening power of the roux. So here's our elk, here's our sauce, here's our potato. Should I get these things warm again and serve it to you? That was a yes? That was an absolute. Now I'm motivated, all right? Thank you. All right, let me fire this guy up, heat these back up. I'll probably gently mash the potatoes, okay? Just a little bit so they kind of hold together and I can do a nice plated presentation for you. Remember when the young man came up and grabbed my presentation plate? Do we have that on tape? We don't have that on tape.
I wonder, can you do that in a slow cooker too? Then?
Yes, a slow cooker. You can use a crock pot if you want. Come on.
For how long? The same?
I'm sorry?
There, you put it at slow temperature, like the slowest.
Yeah, if you use a slow cooker or crock pot, that is braising. Okay, but again, you don't want too much liquid. Now, loosely defined, a stew is a braise. Okay, but really, the core essential of braising is, sort of minimal liquid, tenderizing due to the passage of time and the environment you give the meat. The core of braising, again, covered, low and slow, minimal liquid. It reaches temperatures that actually melt the collagen and connective tissues that in a steak that we will call gristle. Okay? But the low and slow, the prolonged period of time is really what breaks that stuff down and gives you a wonderfully succulent result. Okay, I'm going to give this a taste, see where we are. I'm going to warm these potatoes and let you try this in just a couple minutes here.
Did you choose Yukon Gold for a particular reason?
I like all kinds of potatoes. I like Yukons, they're really versatile. You can mash them or you can cut them into cubes, cook them and make a potato salad with them. Now, if you definitely want something to hold a shape well, use the reds, okay? If you want to bake something, use a russet. But if you want some middle ground, a versatile potato, you can take either way, a Yukon Gold or yellowfin, things like that. That's a good compromise. So, cool. So you guys like all the produce at the market here? It's wonderful, isn't it? Every Saturday I do 2 demos, one at 10 and one at 12. Sorry, one at 10, 20, and one at 12. You get it, all right? 2 demos. Where are you going to be every Saturday?
Here, if at all possible.
Camping on the lake. Oh yeah, if I'm in town, I'll go to the market. Okay, I need a little salt here. I'm warming my potatoes. I'm going to let you taste this in a minute. Remember, you want to look fancy for your friends, what do? Just hold your hand up higher. Okay? Right?
haven't seen
You're
any
learning
real
some
salt.
valuable tips here.
Shoulders is one another.
Okay, so here's our sauce. Remember, it's the braising liquid for the elk, and I thickened it with the roux, okay? I just wanted it to have a little more body. Again, had you cooked some potatoes in with the meat, the starch would have broke down and lend itself to that sauce, and it would have more body, okay? You wouldn't necessarily need to do this step, okay? You guys want to try this, don't you?
Yes.
So do I. Ha! Single-use tasting spoons, right? Right? Are you tasting your food before you serve it? Taste, season, taste again. I feel sorry for people who automatically grab the salt and pepper shaker. Taste your food. And if you're tasting and seasoning, then serving, you're getting practice. Okay? And then, when you're in the spotlight, you're going to shine, right? Right? And you're going to hold your hand where?
Aye.
And yes, if you choose to buy these DVDs from Laura of prior week's demos, you will hear that on every demo. Sorry. My writers went on strike. All right, that works for me. Okay, so that doesn't work for me. I'm notorious for leaving spoons in there to get hot. You like that, huh? Since I'm mashing in a non-stick pan, I'll use this. Okay. Okay, so here we have some potato. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this heat. We're gonna season the potatoes. I'll let you try this. So what kind of things do you like to get from the market? Corn? Very good. Nice corn ripe. What else?
Flowers.
Talk to me. Flowers? Oh, beautiful flowers, huh? Very nice.
Which
What chips? For the smoker? Very good. Very good. James Kelly used to write for the Statesman.
Yeah, James.
So he's over there. He's chipping up old wine barrels that have been used. So they lend wonderful smoke flavor to your grilled meats and such. Cool? Or your smoked products.
You do separate.
I'm sorry? Oak. I'm not sure. I think I saw some okra last week, but I'm not certain who has it. I forgot who has it. All right, guys, I know you're ready to try this. You're being so patient. So again, you're going to see Laura for $5. She'll sell you DVDs of prior week's demos. So what kind of things will you see on those DVDs? You've been here most weeks.
Lobster fried rice.
You'll see lobster fried rice. You'll see seared scallops. Come on, what other Saturday market's taking care of you like this?
there
Huh?
is a nanny.
Crabs. Nice. Nice.
Squid ink pasta.
Nice. And for those of my friends from another county, you can say crepes if you want. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. That was bad. That was entirely
Depends
uncalled.
on where you're from and drink.
That was entirely uncalled. So I'm actually going to hit this potato with a little bit of herb-infused oil. You can give it a dab of butter, a splash of milk or cream if you want, or sour cream. But I'm actually going to hit it with a little bit of this basil oil, okay? Now this is a handful of basil and a handful of parsley whirled into about 2/3 cup of olive oil, okay? Use it to garnish plates and things like that, okay? All right, guys, you're gonna taste this soon. Don't go far.
Do you usually use white pepper?
You know what? I have about 5 different pepper mills. Some have bland, some have black pepper, some have white pepper. Just because this is made of a wood that has some white in there, I don't know why I filled it with white pepper. I have a blue ceramic one that has just black peppercorns. I used to use those clear acrylic ones, and I would do the pepper blend in there because it looks pretty. White peppercorns, black peppercorns, and green peppercorns are all from the same pepper. They're different stages of ripeness. Red peppercorns aren't a peppercorn at all. Taste it. You'll know that. It's used for color. It's more closely related to a rose bush. So. Now you learned something, right?
Yes.
So we can go then, right? All right. No, we're not done? I'll take care of you. You know where to come to be taken care of, right? All right, give this another taste. Again, I have some elk that I stewed in what 2 liquids? What 2 things? How did I stew the elk?
Salsa and beef.
I use beef stock and salsa. Okay, yes, salsa is liquidy, but it also has aromatics, right? pepper, garlic, onion,
Tomato.
right? But the tomato and the liquid worked in conjunction with the beef stock in which I simmered the elk, okay? And you're gonna try this, yes. Then you're gonna go see Timber Butte Elk Ranch, right? About 30 steps that way, right? And you're gonna patronize the local producers. The elk is wonderfully nutritious, way more rich in omega-3s than your standard feedlot cattle, that cheap beef that one may be tempted to buy at the store. I got a nice hit of pepper though. We're there on the pepper. We don't need any more. So, all right. I do want a little more basil oil. So again, I have Yukons that I simmered in some liquid.
Just water.
Just water. And then I'm glad I had that liquid on hand because when my sauce got a little bit thick, I just added a little to loosen it up, okay? All right, guys, let's run with this. I'll show you how I might plate something like this if I were charging you.
Well, no, it's oil infused with basil and parsley.
I got these. I used these when I owned a pastry shop. I have about 100 of them, and I used to build little mousse desserts in there. Magic Line, Gardenia, California. Take a can, cut the ends out of a can, have different sizes. Have a set of about 4 or 6 of a few different sizes. 4 or 6 of each of a few different sizes, because then you can build nice little things in there. Sometimes I'll know that when I unmold something, it may not hold a shape, you know, some kind of salad or something like that. But it gives you a great idea, a starting point when it comes to portion size. Okay?
You're the old man. You're the old man.
All right, I'm going to change out. I'm going to serve you up some stewed elk from Timber Butte Elk Ranch. Playing with wildlife at the Eagle Saturday Market. Okay, where are you getting this? This is a very useful Saturday for you, isn't it? Good answer. I plant her in the audience, folks.
Show in the audience.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a taste of this here in a minute. Again, you're going to see Timber Butte Elk Ranch, and you're going to see all the wonderful farmers here, vendors with their fresh produce. Okay, so I want to see bags full of stuff when you leave. Okay, or no sample next week.
Check in with you before we.
And you guys need to I need you guys to give a round of applause to someone. Dean manages the market. He does a great job. He's really conscientious, guys. Really good, really good. I've been involved with different farmers markets in different states throughout the West, and never before, and we're not just talking 1 or 2 others, okay? Never before have I seen one put together so well. So, Dean does a great job.
Thanks a lot, Cordell.
You're very welcome.
Here you go.
And he's sometimes a wise guy, you know?
He'd take it if he didn't have his
Hey, where are you going?
Yeah.
All right, guys, so I might serve something like this in this manner. I might take some mash and go like so. I might take some elk. You know what I'm actually inclined to do is put the elk around the side a little bit, maybe symmetrically, maybe not. Maybe I would take some sauce. Now a sauce, again, this is the braising liquid that I thickened with a roux, okay? Remember the braising liquid for the elk was beef stock and tomato. I thickened it with a roux, and when determining the consistency of your sauce, see, that's cool, okay? This isn't hot, so I'm warming it back up. A sauce should be thin enough to pour, but thick enough to coat, Okay? So look at it and judge the consistency of it hot and also maybe warm, or if it's a sauce like a dessert sauce that's going to be served cold, judge it, put some onto a cold plate. You know, see if you need to cook it further or what have you. Okay, so again, I'm just loosening my sauce a little bit. And I would probably just simply hit the plate and the meat with the sauce. And then I want to have some color. So I've probably used, these are some oils that I put spices or herbs into. Parsley and basil whirled into some olive oil. Starlight Herb Southwest seasoning. And I just want some color. And this is a ginger curry oil, but I'm not going to use it with this. I'll use it with the next demo with some shrimp, okay? And we probably need some green. Here we go. Let's do some green. And let's do a little purple basil right up top for Ira Powers. He has the bread, but he also grows some wonderful stuff. And this is how I may serve. This is how I may serve something like this. All right. So stewed elk with smashed Yukons, and you guys want to try it, huh? You're sure? Yeah.
Yes. Teasing us.
Oh, you're so nice. You can come back for the 12 o'clock demo. All right, guys. So let's go. Tell you what I'm gonna do. You know what? Since I don't feel like making 20 sample portions, I'm gonna turn you loose on this. But I'm gonna stand here with my knife and make sure you take it easy and know that someone behind you is going to want some also.
Why don't you
Okay?
spoon it more forward?
Nah, I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm gonna trust that you're nice to your neighbors. Okay? Some of you are going, no way, dude, I'm just tearing into that out. I can read your minds. You didn't know Chef could do that. Tell you what I'll do. If I were serving something like this family style, maybe I would take the potato, lay it out on a platter. If I was serving something like this family style, I'd say, kids, come to the stove, get your own. I mean, come on, can we talk? Right? So, but no, where are you going to get practice plating stuff up nicely, right? It's every day of the week. Or those 1 or 2 days a week you don't eat out. That's what I meant to say. But no, if I can encourage you to substitute every week, substitute a meal or two with fresh stuff from the market here that you would have purchased prepared food, that's what I'm here to encourage you to do. So again, I have a brown sauce made with the braising liquid for the elk, and I have full contact cooking here, guys. No, because I'm sorry, it's just because. It's generally because I didn't see you wash your hands, sorry. Nothing personal, I wouldn't have told it to anyone. So, okay, I want to talk briefly about culinary equipment while you guys are serving your stuff. There's a chef's knife here to my left. There was, somewhere around here. And I think you should treat your knives very kindly, right? Wash them yourself, put them away, respect it. When I was doing some consulting for a restaurant in the area, the cooks, the restaurateurs said, hey, I noticed you have your own knives. Should I buy my cooks some good knives? I said, absolutely not. Your cooks should buy their own good knives. Do you think they're going to respect it more? Okay? And generally, someone doesn't come up to a cook station and grab their knife, their personal tool. Okay? So anyways, I want you to consider the culinary stuff that you have at your disposal. All right, now you're going to serve yourself, right? I want you to consider your tools and respect them and, get one that's comfortable. I'm not brand specific when it comes to knives or hardware in the kitchen in general, but get yourself a good chef's knife, a good cutting board, and again, respect it. And then season your food before you taste, right? All right, go forth, buy fresh produce. Oh, of course, after you try some of this.
Maddie, you can go with that.
Here you go.